We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Gordon Beckham, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Bo Porter's Houston Astros. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson. As we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, it will be the rubber match. They took the opener by a score of 10-8. They hit 5 home runs in that ball game. Then last night it was Jose Quintana, and it was Jordan Danks, and it was Addison Reed. We won that ball game 4-3. But, Steve, you got to think that Robin Ventura and his coaching staff have loved what they've seen from Jordan Danks, especially last night.
All you can ask for really is to get an opportunity in the major leagues, and Jordan Danks is getting that opportunity. He's got a 9-game hitting streak. He's hit everything in sight. He's a low fastball hitter, but he's hitting some high curveballs. And he's really taking advantage of every mistake the opposition makes. He's got good speed. He's a terrific outfielder, so there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to get it done. And last night he had the game-winning single. It was a come-from-behind victory, the most thrilling kind, and Jordan Danks had a huge role in it. And
last time out, Chris Sale had a tough time, so he's looking to rebound.
Chris Sale will rebound tonight. Last time out, he gave up 4 home runs to Texas and just didn't have real good command in the strike zone. But he usually has good command against this Houston ball club. Last time he faced them, he fanned 14 of them. The problem was he didn't win the ball game. I look for him to bounce back big tonight because I think he feels last time out just wasn't his night. He views it as one of those things. Tonight you're going to see a different Chris Sale. You're going to see a dominant Chris Sale. You're going to see the Chris Sale that has an ERA just over 3, and he's going to get his 10th win of the year tonight.
All right, tonight our Sox are looking to take the rubber match, so sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field, where a cold front has moved through. It's 71 beautiful degrees at the ballpark. No rain tonight. In the finale of the homestand, the finale of the series against Houston. And let's take a look at how Bo Porter is going to line up his Astros tonight. Robbie Grossman leads it off. L.J. Hose hitting second with Jose Altuve, Matt Dominguez, Chris Carter, Brandon Barnes, Jake Elmore, Jonathan Villar, and Cody Clark catching and rounding it out. The defense, and now they'll line up behind Chris Sale left to right, Viciedo, Garcia, and Danks in the outfield with Keppinger, Garcia, Beckham, and Konerko in the infield. Josh Pegley behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Chris Sale. Looking for his 10th win of the year, and this is his 25th start. 181 strikeouts and 172 in the third innings, only 37 walks. Last time out, he gave up 4 home runs. Trying to make amends here tonight. The umpires for the game tonight: the crew, Chief Field and Culbreth behind the plate. Jordan Baker is at first, Adrian Johnson is at second, and Brian O'Nora is at third. So in the hot streak, which spans 11 games, the Sox have won 9 of them. And the reason why is they're hitting a lot better, scoring more runs. The ERA is down a touch, but the bullpen has been considerably better. That's one of the reasons why you go through a 9-2 stretch. They throw the ball around the infield, which means we are ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stoney. Thank you very much. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox Baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Finale of this 3-game set and finale of this homestand. Robbie Grossman will lead it off, switch hitting left fielder. And Robbie looks like he knows what he's doing out there on that field. Comes in on a 14-game hitting streak. Takes first pitch strike. Robbie at 278, 4 homers, 21 knocked in.
This is his natural side, the right side.
That's outside. He is 4 for 10 in the series. Astros hitting just 241 as a club with a 4.85 team ERA. That's foul back in the count 1-2.
This is Grossman's second time up this year. The first time up he did absolutely nothing. He went down the minor leagues and he tried to use a lighter bat so he could get a little more velocity through the strike zone. It's worked wonders because right-handed he's hitting 339. There you look at the disparity between the two sides.
Breaking ball. And the count 2-2. Just did get a piece of it. So the Sox, as we showed you, winners of 9 out of the last 11 and 15 out of the last 22.
Robin certainly has to like the way things have been going. Every aspect of the game is picked up.
He gone.
Good straight change. In a perfect spot. And Grossman down on strikes.
So here is LJ. LJ Hose hitting it 293. A homer. He's driven in 5, 0 for 10 in this series. Takes first pitch, fastball, strike. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center.
In talking with John Malley, the hitting coach, said coming into this series that Hose was swinging the bat well, but this series, nothing has gone well for him.
Well, he's the one guy in the lineup that a lot of our guys have made some real good pitches on too. But he's had some pitches to hit. When he did, he fouled them off.
You know, hitting .318 coming into the series, you got to be doing a whole lot of things right. You go through these kind of series.
He gone. He knew it. Back door, 2 down.
So many right-handers give up on this pitch. It starts from so far outside, and when Chris is throwing it well, he's going to catch the outside corner. Sometimes the entire plate. This time the corner, and no argument.
Altuve hitting at .271, 4 homers, 42 knocked in, 1 for 9 in this series. And lifetime against Chris, faced him 7 times, and he has 3 hits. That's up high.
Somewhat hard to believe, but this Houston team is fanned 1,241 times. Put it in perspective, our ball club was fanned 949 times.
Well, this ball club, the one thing you can say for them is they play hard.
They have done that each and every time we've faced them. They're going to win the season series against our ball club, and they're competitive most of the time.
That's all you can do when you have 23, 23, 23, 23, 26, 27, 26, 22.
It's the youngest team in the major leagues. They're going to go through a whole lot of growing pains. And Bo Parter, the skipper, the man you're looking at, has got to be phenomenally patient with this bunch.
Well, I think he's already learned that this year. He gone. So he strikes out the side. After having in place, there goes nothing in. The good guys coming to bat.
Leading it off, and Beckham, Keppinger, and Dunn with Paul Konerko in the middle. Avisail Garcia, then Danks, Viciedo, and Josh Pegley rounded out. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Cosart. Grossman, Barnes, and Hose in the outfield with Dominguez, Villar, Elmore, and Carter in the infield. Cody Clark behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jared Cosart. He's 1-1. The ERA is spectacular 160. He's a hard-throwing right-hander, although he hasn't figured out yet what his out pitch is going to be. He does have a good overhand hook. Nobody has hit him particularly well. He came in a deal from Philadelphia, and the Astros think he's got a chance to be a middle-of-the-order rotation guy.
With those numbers he's putting up, he's got a chance to be higher than that. I'll tell you.
Been good.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours, as here's Liuri. Garcia takes first pitch strike, starting at shortstop tonight. Yeah, Cosart just turned 23. And talking with Bill Brown, Alan Ashby, broadcasters, said he's got a little cutter that he'll throw up there. This small, only a few inches, but it's very effective to go along with that good overhand curveball in 94 to 96. He keeps the ball in the ballpark, as you look at.
Andre Rienzo.
That's not fair.
Well, that's what they do to the young guys who aren't paying all that much attention.
Well,
and eventually someone will mention it to him. Eventually.
Well, I'm afraid he's going to have to figure that one out himself. That's what usually happens.
Well, sometimes if you go to scratch your head,
get a handful of gum,
and you notice a protuberance, that's what it is.
3-1. Sox come in hitting at .252 as a club with a 3.86 team ERA. Sox 31-34 here at home. Payoff. That one at 96. Cosart trying to get the count. Sees it's full. Well, it wasn't full, evidently. So now Ward again says 3-2. And there's ball 4. The Uri 1 for 1 in stolen bases.
Cosart came over from Philadelphia along with Jonathan Singleton, Josh's side, and a player be named later who was Domingo Santana in exchange for Hunter Pence. So at the time Ed Wade was a general manager, he had previously worked with the Philadelphia organization for many years. He knew them very well and he made a lot of deals with them.
Here's Beckham. Just a decent lead by Garcia as he takes ball 1. Yeah, VR wants to have a little word with Cosart. A little bit tardy on that one into one of the suites upstairs. Cosart resides in League City, Texas. Again, just a decent lead. He does not go. And there's a nice piece of woodwork right there. So he'll pull up at second as Beckham singles.
That fastball low and away, and Gordon just goes right with it. A very promising way to start the first inning against young Jared Cosart.
That'll bring up Keppinger. Hitting at .247, 4 homers. He's driven in 35. There's that hook. That's a good one.
He's got a very good curveball.
Yeah, even though it's high, all high curveballs are not hangers.
Late break, caught the plate. Question will be, as it is with so many young pitchers, how consistent will he be with it?
That one misses. Yeah, you can't blame it on the umpires anymore, but there for about a decade or so, they were having a lot of trouble calling curveball for a strike when they brought in Questek.
And one of the reasons why it almost disappeared from the game. I mean, most of the guys were going sinker slider. They were forgetting about the curveball.
Yeah.
And how good and how tough it was to hit.
They were making it extinct. That one's high. So the count 2-1.
Cody Clark behind the plate is a very good story. Spent 11 years in the minor leagues. That's a long time. Spent down there with the Rangers, the Braves, the Royals, and now the Astros, and an independent league. And here he is getting a chance.
And a 3-1 count. Don't help him out. Don't bail him out of this jam. Swung at ball 4. So a full count.
You get a guy who doesn't strike out a whole lot in Keppinger. And you've got very good speed on the base paths. So if you're Robin Ventura, do you roll the dice to make sure that you stay out of the double play if there is contact?
I would. I don't know what Robin's going to do.
I think they're going.
They're not going, and there's a little flare into right center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. So Beckham is maybe the only guy on our ball club that on a consistent basis checks the outfielders.
That was an easy one to read because there was no chance at all for Host to make that play. That fastball low and away. Nice piece of protection by Keppinger. Hit it off the end of the bat. So it loads him up. Nobody out. Bringing Doug Brocail out from the dugout to have a talk with his young right-hander.
That'll bring up Adam Dunn, hitting at 233, 30 homers. He's driven in 79. 1 for 8 in this series with a home run.
Here's the AT&T Uverse Multiview. Very good speed, second and third. Adequate speed at first. And a struggling pitcher on the mound.
Outfield swung around to the left. They're spread out. Big gap out there in right center as he drops the hook on it. Change up. And the count very quickly, 0-2.
He's not going to throw too many straight changes. That was the first he's thrown. And that certainly is a work in progress.
Clark with a stop, a block. In the dirt and count 1-2. Sox will have the off day tomorrow. And then we start off on a 10-gamer. 3 in Boston, 3 in the Bronx, and 4 in Baltimore.
Against some very motivated baseball teams. They're all in the race.
At least they think they are.
Well, New York flip a coin. They're getting hammered by Toronto tonight.
Yep. Got him. 1 out.
Adam was guessing ball. 95, knee high. Pretty good pitch.
Yep. So here's Paulie. Paulie hitting at 241, 9 homers, 43 knocked in, 4 for 8 in this series. Paulie with a big RBI last evening. Sox scoring 3 times in the 8th inning to win that ball game 4-3. If you let him, looks like Cosart turned himself into a 1-pitch pitcher.
Well, from Paul's standpoint, he loves the fact that he tried a breaking ball and missed with the first pitch, because
that's why
he knows
that first pitch is so important.
He knows he got to come to him with the pitch he wants to hit.
That's it. That first pitch in the sequence is very important. And that's why Gordon's being held now. So Leury scores, and it's a 1-0 Sox lead here in the bottom of the first inning if you're just tuning in.
RBI number 44. And Paul knows after missing with the first pitch, he's going to get a fastball. He doesn't care how fast the young man throws it. He just rifles it into center. Barnes has all the best of it, and a nice job by Joe McEwing, because you really have very little chance to score. It's a one-hop shot with Barnes in perfect stride making the throw home.
Yeah, and Beckham read it perfectly. He was running, and he still would have had trouble scoring. So here's Evasiel. There was a high breaking ball on first pitch, but that's how a pitcher can turn himself into a 1-pitch pitcher. Paulie sits over there, watches him, sees he's having trouble getting the curveball over, misses with the first one. Hello. Hello, second pitch.
Yeah, I know you're going to throw it, so just get it here.
Good eye. Close. 1-1. Couple of finals today. Texas thumped Seattle 12-4 out of Safeco, and Dodgers. Velasco shuts out the Cubs 4-0. All right, here it comes again. Missed with that curveball.
And the big news in that Dodger game was after 4 innings, Don Mattingly took Yasiel Puig out of the game. Nonchalanted a couple of fly balls. Didn't run quite as hard as Don thought he should have run, and he removed him.
Good check. He did not go, and the count 3-1. Well, I don't know, and you don't know. But from what we've seen and what you and I have discussed, it looks like that young man's got some real issues.
Yeah, and I think it's a case of taking a guy from abject poverty, giving him $42 million before perhaps he was emotionally equipped to deal with it, and now he's in Hollywood, and it's getting the better of him so far.
You know, it's that old saying, as you know and I know, and we've seen and experienced, some guys just can't play in New York or LA.
And he's got such phenomenal talent that hopefully somebody can sit and talk with him, one of the veteran guys on the team, and explain to him just what's expected of him and how to purport himself as a major leaguer, because there's nothing he can't do in the game. His skills are off the charts.
Now, Don Mattingly will not put up with it.
And rightly so. He's trying to teach him how to do it the right way, and they've got a terrific baseball team that can go all the way. They don't need any distractions from anybody.
And once again, the payoff. And rack him up. But we get one. And after one is 1-0 good guy.
Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Sox fans, join us on Saturday, September 14th at 6:10 for halfway to St. Patty's Day and post-game fireworks presented by Miller Lite. Also, the first 20,000 adults aged 21 and over will receive a green White Sox cap. A green White Sox cap. So purchase tickets today by visiting whitesocks.com/SPD.
Gosart worked awfully hard in that first inning, threw a lot of pitches, and Bo Porter called over the trainer to get him some water, maybe some sort of electrolytes to get in his system. Doug Brocail comes over to have a word with him. Remember, even though it's very warm in Houston, they are used to playing inside, and it's been very, very hot the last couple of days. If you didn't properly hydrate, it could very well be that an extended first might have seen him get dehydrated.
Matt Dominguez leads it off, takes strike one. Matt hitting at .240, 19 homers, 66 knocked in. He's just 23 years old, and he's a good-looking young player. Very strong. He's 5 for 8 in the series with a homer and 3 RBIs. Last 11 games, he's hitting .381. There's a changeup for a strike. Oakland leading Detroit 5-1. Top of the 5th at Comerica Park. Doug Fister on the bump for the Tigres. That's over into our dugout.
Oakland comes in action tonight, 2.5 games in back of Texas. They've won 2 in a row. Texas has won 2 in a row. And finally, Andre Rienzo discovers. The question is, who's the culprit? I think that's got Ramirez written all over it personally. Yep. It appears that the crafty veteran.
That one at 94 upstairs, just did get a piece of it. Yeah, I mentioned we have an off day tomorrow. And then On Friday, Hector Santiago against Ryan Dempster. On Saturday, Johnny Danks against Jake Peavy. And on Sunday, Andre Rienzo against Felix Dubron. Friday and Sunday's game will be right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Saturday's game will be over WGN. Oh yeah, that's 4 in a row punched out by Chris. He gone.
It's a combination here of a pitcher who is really aggravated about his last time out against Texas, and a team that this year is leading the world in strikeouts. Bad combination for Houston.
Chris Carter, 3 for 7 in this series with a couple of home runs. That ball is hit hard. Right off the top of the fence. And here's a throw. Just does beat it. Good peg by Viciedo.
It's well played by Viciedo because he doesn't get trapped too close to the wall. This ball is hit so hard he doesn't have a chance to get back there in time, but comes up, makes a good solid throw. But the foot in just ahead of the tag. It is very close as the foot kind of bobbles, but it is in.
There's Brandon Barnes hitting at .239, but 3 for 8 in the series. Well, the one thing I think, pitchers never stop learning. I don't care who you are. They always can learn something. And I think what Chris has got to learn, and a lot of pitchers are in the same boat because they never had to hit, so to speak. A lot of pitchers don't realize how much easier it is to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that's thigh high versus one that's letter high.
Well, Quintana has found that out this year because he's really getting a lot of mileage out of those face-high fastballs.
That's one reason. As he gone, that's one reason he's pitched so well.
Yep. And he's used it well, and that's the best thing that's probably happened to the young man. Like, he's got 16 no decisions. He leads the world in that department. You look at his 7-4 record, it doesn't even come close to telling you just how well he's pitched this year. He could have easily have won 14 games. He's pitched well enough to do that, but due to various circumstances, he just keeps getting no decisions.
Well, you look at, if you go back and you look at Chris Sale's fastballs that have been hit hard or for home runs, you'll see the vast majority have been low fastballs. We had a reliever here named Roberto Hernandez a few years back, and Roberto was getting racked around pretty good. He was throwing 95, 96, occasionally 97, and getting lit up because everything was knee high, thigh high, knee high, thigh high. So finally, somebody talked to him, got him to understand how much easier it was to hit that 95 or 97, this knee high versus letter high. Well, the very next time he went out on the mound in a situation to save a ball game, he started throwing high fastballs, and from there he just took off. Just took off. And if you look at the greatest who ever lived, Mariano Rivera, very seldom see him throw low cutters. They were always belt high or right underneath the hands.
Belt high and higher.
Yeah, right underneath the hands. Elmore with a 3-1. That's full. Elmore, a .290 minor league hitter.
His stock with his organization raised dramatically when they found out that he could also catch. He caught in high school, so he would be their emergency catcher in a normal situation.
And that ball hit into left field. That'll do it. Nothing across. There was a double by Chris Carter. And after an inning and a half, 1-0 Sox.
Snap. This season, tune in every Friday night at 11 as CSN takes the inside high school football and delivers the can't-miss highlights from Chicagoland and beyond. High School Lights, presented by Discount Tire, Friday night at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Bottom of the second inning. It'll be Danks, Viciato, and Fegley, lower third of our order. Jordan on a 9-game hitting streak, 3 for 4 in this series with 2 big RBIs, that coming last night. And Jordan 14 for his last 32.
Last night with the bases loaded, 1 run down. Jordan Danks stepped up. Eric Bedard rolled him a breaking ball, took it right back up the middle. That scored the tying and the eventual winning run.
1-1 to count.
Those numbers during the 9-game hitting streak, pretty strong.
Boy, our scoreboard is having problems out there with the count tonight. And the count 3-1. And there's ball 4. And here's Viciato. Tank 1 for 4 in the series, hitting at .254, 11 homers and 44 knocked in. Checks it up. You know, we were talking about pitchers just don't realize how much easier it is. Now we got to get some of our hitters to understand that. It's a lot easier to hit a low fastball than this one, but they're high.
Well, there's been a couple of hitters down through the years who had problems laying off the high fastball. And what they did was got in a bit of a crouch. and then everything they saw up, they just laid off of. Now, it seems easier said than done, but it's happened, and it's happened quite a bit. But if a hitter gets to the point in his own mind where he realizes that he just cannot catch up to anything letter high or above, he can really then start to be the kind of talented hitter that got him to the major leagues in the first place.
Outfield straight up, spread out. That breaking ball in right field. Hose makes the catch. And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. Jim Angio, our director and the crew. Well, they went with Beckham. Steve's going with Josh Fegley and J.J. Shearer and all the good folks at Ditka's, both downtown, out in Oak Brook, and also Lost Dunes. We're going to go with Leury Garcia. So here's Fegley. For that off day tomorrow, that's where I'll be headed. Lost Dunes. What a golf course. Wonder what the temperature is supposed to be tomorrow.
It's supposed to be gorgeous.
Great, great. Because if it was like it was the last 2 or 3 days, I wouldn't have been out there very long.
No, but at 71 now, I can't believe that a real warm spell is coming through.
0-2 the count to Josh. Josh 2 for 8 with an RBI in the series.
Previous 2 days, it appeared that the Astros had brought that Houston weather with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty good lead by Jordan. Top of the 6th in Detroit, 7-1 Oakland. A little bigger lead now by Jordan. He does not go. And that has popped up. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. For out number 2. And you can bring your family to the ballpark for our all-new Family Sundays presented by the University of Chicago Medicine Comer Children's Hospital. Tickets start as low as $5 and parking is just $10. On August 25th, former White Sox player Vance Law, what a good guy, will be on the concourse from 11:30 to 12, signing autographs for all fans. And the White Sox and Comer Children's Hospital teaming up to promote a healthy lifestyle and combat childhood obesity. So purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com/Sundays or calling 866-SOX-GAME. First pitch strike to Leury, who walked and scored.
Dominguez is not in on the grass. He's playing even and well off the line.
Boy, right now is the perfect time to get Leury. Talk to him and talk to him and talk to him about, let's practice the bunny. Let's practice the bunny. Let's practice the bunny.
Well, you know, he talks about playing the little man's game because that's what he's got to do. And that's how, if he's going to play here, that's how he's going to have to do it.
Well, a guy as fast as he is, if he can get 15 bunt hits a year, that's 30 points.
Well, all he's got to do when he comes up in a situation like this where it takes a double to score Danks from first base, you keep this inning alive for Gordon Beckham, who you know is one of the better hitters on the team. And all you do is take a look at Dominguez. Because where he is, if a bunt pushed up the left side, it's a base hit.
Or Elmore, who's playing him deep like a left-handed power hitter. Take it right with him, get it past the pitcher, and no chance.
That is a whole lot of pitches so far. About ready to deliver number 47. So a lot of early work leads to early exits for Kosar.
2-2. It's full. Well, when you look at his numbers, 45 innings coming in, only 32 hits. But 21 strikeouts, 21 walks. 1 home run he's thrown. So he keeps the ball in the park. But those 21 walks, that's not going to get it. Many walks and strikeouts.
And I was just saying, with his stuff, you should be striking out many more men.
Payoff. And there is, playing him perfectly, is Grossman. And that'll retire the side. We're into the third. 1-0 Sox. Using hashtag White Sox Talk, and we'll read one back later in the game, and it just might be yours. Top of the third, 1-3-0 for our guys, 0-1-0 for their guys. It'll be VR, Clark, then back to the top of the order with Grossman.
An enthusiastic game of patty cake. Always in order between innings.
'22-year-old shortstop Jonathan VR hitting at .266, 0 for 4 in this series. First pitch strike. Texas has already beaten Seattle this afternoon, 12-4. So Oakland looks like they're going to win that game in Detroit, so they'll remain 2.5 back of Texas. Watch out. One and two the count.
That puts Cleveland and Baltimore in a situation where they're just almost must win. Cleveland 3 games back, Baltimore 3.5 games back in the wild card.
Big on, he knew it. 6 strikeouts now for Chris.
He keeps piling them up. Not only is it 95, but it's 95 in a perfect spot. Last time he looked at these guys, He got 14 strikeouts.
Cody Clark. He's been to the plate 5 times this season. He's 0 for 5. Long-time minor league veteran. See, I told you, 11 years down there, where he was a .243 hitter. He paid his dues.
And they had 2 catchers go on the concussion disabled list for 7 days. And it paved the way for Clark to get his first shot at the major leagues. So persistence pays off, and regardless of what happens from here on out, he has played in the big leagues.
He'll know it when he looks at the first and the 15th.
He will indeed, and he'll also remember facing Chris Sale. I'm not sure how fondly he'll remember it, but he will remember it.
That first and 15th will erase a lot of bad memories.
It's true.
That's popped up right side. Paulie. And that'll bring up Grossman. I'm going to be following this young man the rest of the year. See, he looks like he's going to be a player.
The only problem he'll have is, unless he starts to really pick it up with power where he can play a corner, their #1 prospect is George Springer. And Springer is a center fielder who's going to play every day in the major leagues in the not too distant future. And he is a guy that, #1, is very highly thought of. #2 has really progressed through the system. So we're going to see him as soon as they work out that 40-man roster situation with him. But in the meantime, Grossman has made a big impression on the Astros.
0-2 the count. Two good curveballs he's seen in this bat. There's a fastball. Had it 95, and he just got a piece of it. Well, his father Rob was a naval aviator at North Island Naval Station and was serving in Operation Desert Storm at the time of Robbie's birth. Got him. Boy, he just worked him over in that AB. 7 strikeouts, and we'll go to the bottom of the 3rd.
By GMC. On the show, are the Bears concerned with Brandon Marshall's health? We'll have the latest on his condition. Plus, we'll have up-to-the-minute MLB pennant races. Hear all that and more tonight after postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Gordon Beckham will lead it off for us here in our half of the third inning. We have a 1-0 lead. We had the bases loaded, nobody out in the first inning. Paulie with an RBI single, and then a 5-4-3 double play took us out of doing some further damage. Gordon, who singles sharply in the whole right side. And that Texas victory. 12-4 over Seattle. Martin Perez. He's a good-looking young left-hander. Picked up his 8th victory against 3 losses. That ball hit into center field, just in front of the track. Brandon Barnes makes the catch for out number 1, and here comes Keppinger. He had a little duck snort single into right field.
I know Martin Perez looked awfully good against us, and you can understand why when teams went to the Rangers, any deal they talked about, Martin Perez was one of the top guys on their list. But when you get a lefty with a changeup like that,
oh boy,
and a fastball in the mid-90s,
oh boy,
he's a guy that you've got to keep.
I don't think they're going to let him go anywhere.
Nope.
Oakland now leading the Tigers 10-1. That's up high, ball 1. Top of the 7th in Atlanta. 2-1 Braves over Cleveland. Count evens. Tampa Bay leading the Angels 4-0. Archer on the bump for the Rays. Two and 1. Cincinnati leading St. Louis 9-0. Bottom of the 3rd in St. Louis. Two and 2 the count. Pittsburgh leading Milwaukee 4-0 after 6 at PNC.
St. Louis loses and Pittsburgh holds up. They'll be a half game back.
Grossman can't get there. So another little soft single by Keppinger.
This curveball doesn't snap quickly, kind of rolls, stays down, and Grossman actually winds up flipping it back into the infield when he finds he can't make the catch.
So here's Adam. Adam a strikeout. Baltimore leading Boston 3-1. Bottom of the 6th at Fenway. That's where we will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're just joining us, Santiago against Dempster on Friday. Danks against Peavy on Saturday, and Rienzo against Dupron on Sunday.
You don't hear much about Dupron, but he's very quietly having a very good year.
Out and around that one. So 2 down. Well, the games he's pitched against us, he has looked very good.
And he was exceptional last time out. The addition of Victorino on that team really gives him another dimension. He had a huge game his last game. But just overall, with the hustle he brings, you've got Ellsbury, Victorino, and Pedroia, the top 3, All of them can run. All of them hustle. And all of them can hit.
Well, Victorino yesterday 3 for 3 with 7 RBIs.
Yeah, it was a very, very nice game for him. A nice one.
2 home runs. Pick him up, Paulie. I love this iPad.
Gives you lots and lots and lots of information.
Anything you want to know about baseball. Go back, check out any game. What guys did. Spectacular plays. Videos. Love it.
MLB.com. One of the great things to happen the last few years as far as keeping up with everything you have to keep up with. Watching whatever game you want to watch. And getting the latest news stories, which both of us certainly appreciate.
Paulie with that RBI single, bullet in center field. And he's got the catbird seat. He's got 2-0. Yeah, for an example, when I go home tonight, I'll check out that Dodger game to see why Mattingly took out Puig, which you can do. I saw the highlights before our game on MLB, but I'll just go watch it in real time, so to speak.
And Don Mattingly also had an extensive press conference where he explained why he did what he did when he did it. It didn't hurt him at all as they beat the Cubs 4-0. Ricky Nolasco has been absolutely overwhelming over his last 6 starts, running his record to 11-9, ERA 3.25. And when you factor him in with Greinke, Kershaw, Rue, I mean, this is a terrific pitching staff the Dodgers have assembled. Looks a little like Adam Dunn from the right side as they've taken to a radical shift on Paul.
Three and two. I was talking with Dennis Gilbert, good buddy. Prior to the game, we were talking about our pitching staff, and I said, there's not many teams in the big leagues that would not trade their 5 starters for ours. I said, Detroit being one. And all of a sudden he said, Dodgers wouldn't either. And I said, I don't know. He said, no, they wouldn't. And I agree with him. Dodgers would not trade their 5 starters.
Nope.
But right here, after 3, we lead at 1-0.
Ranch Doritos, Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Mas.
Top of the fourth inning, 1-4-0 for our guys, 0-1-0 for their guys. It'll be L.J. Hose, Jose Altuve, and Matt Dominguez. Hose struck out, called out on a good curveball his first trip. And that curve, that's low. Theory. The Sox fans, join us for Blackhawks night on Tuesday, September 10th at 7:10 p.m. That's when our Sox take on the Tigers. And Miguel Cabrera. Also, the first 20,000 fans will receive a White Sox and Blackhawks fleece scarf presented by the Blackhawks. So purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Here's Altuve. He also struck out. Chris struck out the side in the first inning. Struck out 2 in the second and 2 in the third. Looking for it, got it, and hit it well, but we got a man there. 2 down. Here's Dominguez. Takes first pitch strike. And a change up into right center field. That didn't take long. 5 pitches is all, and we'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Stats, tweets with Sox in-game live only on CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class. And, of course, Dan Hayes of CSNChicago.com. Always interesting with his comments. It's a 1-0 ball game. We scored 1 in the first. We had the bases loaded, nobody out. And could only get 1 across. That was on a single by Konerko. Jared Cosart. Got a good arm. Got a big arm.
I don't think there's any reason why he can't be one of the starting pitchers as Houston goes down to assemble what should be pretty good rotation. they like the young arms. They had the first pick in the draft last year. They got Mark Appel out of Stanford. They'll have the first pick in the draft this year. Apparently it's a kid named Rondon, a left-hander, very much like Appel, but maybe a tick behind him.
And there is a base hit right back through the middle.
Stayed with that curveball nicely. And took it right back at Cosart, who, because it was on the arm side and not the glove side, couldn't get across to get it. Garcia now has hit safely in 14 of his last 15 games.
That's making a nice little entree into his career with the White Sox.
We haven't seen it yet, but we will. As soon as he gets a lot more comfortable, we'll start seeing the power that everybody knows he's had, but hasn't been able to bring it out quite yet.
So here's Danks. He walked leading off the second inning. One and one to count to Jordan. All Jordan needs to do is get that mirror to like what it sees when he gets up in a baseball fashion. When he does that, he got a chance to take off and be a heck of a player.
Well, there's some guys that you look at, they just look like they're going to be baseball players. To me, from the first time I set eyes on Jordan Danks, he looked like he was going to be a player. His actions in the field, his actions at bat. Now, you know, like a lot of young guys, he's got a big strike zone, bigger than he'd like, but in this last streak, he's narrowed that strike zone down.
Good hook right there. And that is out number one. Yeah, he's got a chance. And he's in it right in that age limit, 26, 27, 28. He's 27. Young 27, no baseball wise. As here's Tank. Tank fouled out to L.J. Hose. And that's out of play right side.
What's going to be interesting, and I don't know if Avi Garcia is going to be able to do this, but he's fast enough where he should be a prolific base stealer. He doesn't know yet the intricacies of quite how to do it, and to do that you have to read pitchers as well as learn acceleration. From what you've seen of him, I mean, he's a big man at 6'3", he's 240. He's probably going to hit for power. Do you think the Sox are going to want him to be a big base stealer?
I hope so. I'll tell you who he reminds me of when I first saw him come into the American League. Jose Canseco.
He was a guy that was a big guy before, as we know, before the help. He was a big guy who could really run.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy, yeah, he could steal if he wanted to. He could have stolen 50, 60 bases a year.
He reminds me a lot of Jose Canseco when Jose first came into the league. Jose did something in batting practice one day at Old Comiskey Park that I never saw any other right-handed hitter do. In his 8 swings that he had in one round of BP, he hit 2 on the roof in right field. There he goes. And Adrian Johnson said they got him.
Good throw by Clark. And he spun his wheels a touch. Maybe he looked back a little bit longer, and that's why they were able to gun him down. But again, that's the difference between a guy who's fast and a guy who can steal bases.
Well, he got a bad jump right there.
He spun his wheels.
And the thing is with him, if Canseco was a good base hitter because very seldom did he go from a static move. He was moving. His momentum was going. He was thinking second base. So if he learns, now that's when I say I hope he does as far as base stealing, which I do, because he's got the kind of speed that he can steal 30 or 40 bases if he has the right technique. So here's Fegley. Josh popped up to right field. But Canseco, a big man like that, had 200 stolen bases in his career.
Coming into the league, I think everybody was surprised just how well he ran. And also the fact that he did have the technique. He did know how to accelerate and get to top speed in seemingly one step.
Well, I don't care how fast you are. You got to have a good technique. You've got to have a good technique. If you don't have a good technique, you're not going to steal that many bases, because you're not going to get that many great jumps. Canseco in '88 hit 42 home runs and stole 40 bases.
Not too many guys have joined that exclusive club. We've seen a lot of 30-30. You just don't see a lot of 40-40. Alfonso Soriano, year before he came to the Cubs as a free agent, was a 40-40 man with the Washington Nationals.
Vladimir.
Boy, what a talent Vlad Guerrero was.
Wow, you better believe it. You better believe it.
I remember talking with then the general manager of the Dodgers, Fred Clare. I said, Fred, in the Dominican Academy you guys had, you had two brothers walk in at the same time and showcase their talents. And you decided to take the smaller of the two and allow the larger of the two to go on his way to Montreal. How did you pass on Vlad Guerrero? Because they signed Wilton. And he said, well, in looking back, it appears that we made a very large mistake. And occasionally, you know, that happens. Vlad came in with two different kinds of shoes. And they looked at him. He was very gangly at the time. And Wilton had more coordination because he was the smaller of the two. So they decided to cast their lot with Wilton. And Vlad went on to be really one of the great players to play this game.
Curveball. Yes, he was. Yeah, if he had played on a big stage, a bigger stage than Montreal in his heydays, he would have certainly gone down as one of the great players. And to you guys like you and I, who are baseball lifers, so to speak, he was a great player.
318 lifetime batting average, 449 career home runs, and had an arm from right field, the likes of which we only see occasionally in this game.
And that'll retire the side. Third strikeout for Cosart, and we're into the fifth. White Sox jersey in the process. Simply visit whitesox.com/survey during tonight's game and provide us with your feedback. In doing so, you'll be entered for the chance to win an autographed Gordon Beckham jersey. So visit whitesox.com/survey. Yeah, we'll send out a big White Sox shout out and thank you to John Vincent for another terrific job on our national anthem. Of course, occasionally you might catch John down at Ditka's belting out a few tunes.
He has what they term a big voice.
Big time.
He's got a big voice.
He does. Starts him off with a changeup. Chris Carter, who doubled, slammed one off the top of the wall in left field. Picking up his 18th two-bagger. That's the only hit Houston has. Curveball strike and the count 0-2. Also, I was watching some TV today and I saw a terrific documentary. I'd heard about it, but I hadn't seen it. On Ted Williams. Boy, it was just a terrific piece on Teddy Ball Game.
Did MLB do it?
MLB did it. They do some good ones.
Yeah, they do.
And his son John Henry. Met John Henry one time in Boston when he was just a youngster. Boy, he turned out to be almost a spitting image of his dad, a good looking kid, and he died at the age of 35. Leukemia. Tried to rush that one by him, and Carter looking for it. That one at 96. Outfield bunch just a bit. Swung around to the left, about equidistant. Jordan way over into right center field. He gone. Gas at 97. 8 strikeouts now.
I'm not sure what Carter was looking for, but he got the express and it caught the whole plate. Probably figuring he can't hit it in there anyway, so maybe Field and Culbreth would call it a ball. No chance.
So here's Barnes. He was looking for it, got it at 96 and couldn't do anything with it. That's nasty. There's a pitch right there. Right-handed hitters off Chris have got to take it away from it, or don't swing at it.
No, I mean, that's the one where when you see the spin, you got to somehow convince yourself to take it because there's no way you can do anything with it. If you do happen to touch it, it's going to go either right off your foot or into the Sox dugout. Last 5 games, Brandon Barnes, who plays a terrific defense, has hit the ball well.
Here you go. 9 punch outs.
And Chris looks like he is throwing like a man who was very displeased with his last outing and couldn't wait to get back out there to make amends for it.
Here's Elmore. Hit a little soft flying ball into left field. And there's a ground ball to Uri.
Terrific play by Garcia up the middle, did a 360 spin. And the other end, not so much. It goes as a base hit. Great range up the middle.
So the second hit given up by Chris, and here's VR. He struck out, called out on a good fastball. Takes first pitch strike. Well, Oakland just pounding the Tigers 14-1. Change up. 0-2.
We haven't seen VR look real good in this series. However, last 10 games, he's been very good.
And he gone. That is number 10, double digits. We're halfway home, leading 1-0. For the 6th time this season, Chris Sale has hit double digits in strikeouts in this one. This is just through 5 innings of work for him. And I believe in the history of the game, Steve, I think there are only 2 guys that have ever had 10 or more double-digit games in one season.
And they would be?
One of them just pitched against us.
Hugh Darvish.
He's one.
And the other one is Eddie Lopez.
He didn't have 10 double digits in his career. The other one, Nolan Ryan.
Well, that's not a surprise that the Express would have done something like that.
Top of the order for us. Uri has walked, scored the only run of the ball game, and fouled out to Robbie Grossman, who's playing him over close to the left field line. Not like a Luis Polonia, but, well, somewhat. Luis Polonia, they used to play him 8 or 10 feet from the line. Yvonne Calderon, in one game out in the Big A in Anaheim, caught 2 line drives in foul territory. All the Polonia. Yvonne Calderon, God bless his soul, he was a good man. 2-1 to count to Liuri. Just tuning in, we had the bases loaded, nobody out in the first, and could only push the one across. Cleveland has tied Atlanta at 2. That's at the bottom of the 8th down in Georgia, and a full count to Garcia.
Much bigger game for the Indians than it is for Atlanta. Atlanta with a 13-game lead over the Washington Nationals.
One out. And here's Beckham. Gordon has hit the ball hard, very hard twice. Once for a single into right field, and then once deep, taking Brandon Barnes back right close to the track and dead away center.
Gossart did a nice job of making sure he stayed in the game in that first inning, because he could have easily been blown out of it, especially against the Chris Sale we've seen tonight. He gives up 3 or 4 in the first, and he could have easily have done that. Would have been pretty much lights out for him.
Well, plus he had, like, I think 48 pitches through 2 innings. Slowly hit. Matt Dominguez on the move. Nice play. 2 down.
You can tell why they like Dominguez at third base. He's got terrific range, knows when to come in and smother a hop, knows when to wait back, and he's one of their better defenders.
There's Keppinger. He's 2 for 2. Little duck snort to right, little duck snort to left. Two 2-0. That changeup missed. Three 3-0 the count with Adam Dunn on deck. Ball 4, third walk issued by Gossart. And Sox fans, celebrate your Latino culture with Hispanic Heritage Night and fireworks presented by Miller Lite on Friday, September 27th at 7:10. Specially priced tickets, including lower level seats, for only $10. So to purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/NHH. Fourth walk make that. First one scored. Liuri Garcia in the first inning. Adams 0 for 2. Now make it 0 for 3. And we have completed 5. We lead at 1-0.
to you by Head and Shoulders, and it started early. First, Grossman, then Altuve, then Dominguez, then Barnes, and then VR. 6 of them swinging out of the 10. 6th 10-plus strikeout game this year for Chris Sale.
And here's Cody Clark. Cody fouled out to Paulie. That curveball misses and the count 2-0. Wow. First walk issued by Chris.
4 pitches, not any of them very close. And that will take Josh Fegley out to talk with Chris Sale. 73 pitches so far. Not a particularly high total when you consider that he has fanned 10 heading into the 6th.
So here's Grossman. Two plate appearances, 2 strikeouts. 1-5-0 for our guys, 0-2-0 for their guys. Pittsburgh leading Milwaukee 7-1. Top of the 8th at PNC. Still 9-0 Cincinnati over St. Louis. Bottom of the 5th in St. Louis. Going to go to second. Get lead man. Close at first.
And Bo Porter is going to argue this play at second base. He's going to say that Garcia was off the bag. Adrian Johnson said that the foot was on long enough. And not a particularly big argument, but he might have a point there. It's kind of a neighborhood tag. Yep, he was off the bag.
So here's Hose. He struck out and grounded out to short. Grossman 6 for 12 in stolen bases. Breaking ball strike.
Dave Clark, first base coach, going over there to tell Robbie Grossman that, well, first he's looking at the signs from Dave Tremblay. Second, he's probably telling him that Sale's got a pretty good move to first base.
There he goes. He gone. 2 down.
Hose came very close to interference on that play. That pitch was way outside. And Josh Fegley makes a good solid throw. Down there in plenty of time.
That static jump right there from the static start. He gone. So they get the leadoff man aboard. That's 11 strikeouts for Chris. It's a 1-0 Sox lead. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, it'll be Canerco, Garcia, and Danks. The first three to face Jared Cosart. Jared out of Texas. League City, Texas. Paulie is 1 for 2, the lone RBI, which turned out to be his 44th of the season. Outfield straight up in there, spread out. Dominguez back and well off the line at third as there's first pitch strike. Ball hit hard and a base hit. So the leadoff man aboard.
The way Villar was closing on that ball, it looked for an instant as if he was going to be able to make that grab. Second hit of the night for Paul. Line drive. Jonathan Villar just came up a little short.
But Paulie with 2 hits last night. And 2 hits in game 1 of this series. So here's Avisail. He's 1 for 2. Starts him off with a changeup. Bottom of the 8th at Fenway. Baltimore has tied Boston at 3. Breaking ball, curve.
Chris Davis hit his 47th.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Good pitching matchup in the finale of that Oakland Tigers series tomorrow. Scherzer against Cologne. Scherzer 19 wins, Cologne 14 wins, both with ERAs under 3.
I think it was interesting with Chris Davis when they interviewed him after the game last night. He said that he was rooting for Cabrera to win the Triple Crown. Now he's going to try to beat him, obviously, in the one thing he can control, which is hitting home runs. He's not going to be able to catch him, I don't believe, in runs batted in. Cabrera has, obviously, batting average pretty well locked up at this point.
Look at this. That's going to be another base hit. Well, it's the end of the bat. So the first 2 men aboard.
Another changeup, and he was able to get a piece of it.
Now that's back with Frank Howard. As you look at the bullpen, former Sox right-hander Lucas Harrell warming up down there, and here's Danks. But Frank Howard now are going for the home run title in '68. They come in to play us in Boston. Of course, we roomed together when I was in Washington. So he called me Fab, and he comes over, walking out of the dugout, comes over to me. I'm taking batting practice. Fab, man. He said, man, you're having a great year. He says, I hope you hit 50. As long as I hit 51.
What was the final result of that year?
He won it. That's it. He won it.
By?
He hit 44. Well, I didn't hit any hardly in this. I had the George Brett syndrome here. I came up with him. Oh, it's late August, early September. Couldn't get any sleep for 3 weeks. Oh, and 1 to count to Jordan, who has walked and struck out. Yeah, big Frank. What a guy. Yeah, Frank hit 44. I wound at third. Willie Horton hit 36. I hit 35. But at the time, he had me 32 to 31. Right to the bag for the double play. So 2 down.
Couldn't have ordered up anything better. VR standing right there. So Viciato with an opportunity to bail out his teammates and push home at least one.
There's Viciato. Fouled out to right and walked. Toronto has defeated the Yankees 7-2 up in Canada. So Cleveland and the Yankees getting themselves in a must-win scenario. 3-0. Turn him loose.
Cleveland's going through a period right now, 3 series in a row of 3 exceptional baseball teams that they have to get by before they get to the final soft part of their schedule. They have to stay afloat through this.
That'll bring up Fegley. Josh has popped up to right and struck out. So runners at the corners with 2 down. 1-7-0 for us, 0-2-0 for them. And Doug Rocchio out of the dugout. So the 5th walk issued by Cosart. And you can join the Sox Pride Club, the official online fan club of our White Sox. For members only, ticket opportunities, a special membership gift, and a commemorative photo, as well as exclusive perks throughout the season, all for just $29.95. So visit www.soxprideclub.com. Pick him up, Josh. Let's get another one. Oh, I won the count. To the count.
One of the better curveballs from Cosart. And that was on pitch number 109. This one freezes Josh. Just a perfect pitch. Many times a catcher will come out in this situation where a wipeout curveball ends the inning, but you have to have supreme confidence that your catcher is going to block it. If you don't trust your catcher, you're not going to throw your best curveball. So a lot of times the catcher will come out and say, you can't throw it by me in the dirt. So let me see your best.
Ball way out of the zone. Josh fighting it off. This guy has got a good arm. Wow. 111 pitches. Still throwing 94, 95.
And will he trust that curveball? Clark out.
Well,
to
you
give
put it
the
better
infield.
the other way. That was perfect. Will he trust his catcher?
Yeah. We're going to see the hook. Yep, went to the heat.
At 95.
Well, I think at this point, Cosart probably knows that this should be about it for him as far as innings are concerned. I know they're going to limit his innings this year, so they certainly don't want to extend his pitching too much beyond where he is right now.
Softly hit right side. And that'll do it. We get the first 2 men aboard. Can't do anything with it. And we're into the 7th, leading 1-0.
On this date in 1990, Big Frank Thomas hit his first home run off Gary Wayne in a 12-6 loss in the Metrodome. That was the first of 521 home runs, tying him with both Ted Williams and Willie McCovey for 18th all time. It all started today in 1990.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Gigantic numbers.
Well, as I've said many times, for 8 years, first 8 years, he was the best right-handed hitter I ever saw. So here we go. Top of the 7th. Sox lead at 1-0. Altuve takes first pitch strike. Altuve has struck out and then went out deep to right center field. That ball hit hard. Tank, he's back there. We got a rolling curveball right there, and little man, 5'5", Well, he's hit it right on the money the last 2 times up.
Well, fortunately, this one was a sinking line drive. I think Altuve a little disappointed he didn't get under this one a bit more. But Viciedo back, measures it, and actually catches it before the track, and pretty happy. Hart skipped a beat when that one left the bat.
There's Dominguez. First pitch strike. That one at 94. If you're just joining us, Chris, with 11 strikeouts now and 6 in the 3rd innings. Dominguez has struck out and popped up to center.
Chris's career high 15. He did fan 14 of these Astros in a performance.
There's a chopper to Hopper. 2 down. Chris Carter got a low fastball and just ripped it off the top of the wall in left field in the 2nd inning with 1 out for his 18th double. Then he struck out in the 5th. That one at 95. This game is tied at 1. Carter, very strong man, number 26 for him.
Driven in 70, and it looked like it could have been a changeup.
It was a changeup.
It was out away, and he just flipped it. Ford home run replay, changeup higher than Chris would have wanted it, and a no doubter. Scatter hit the daylights out of that one.
There's Barnes. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Curveball strike. Curveball. 0-2 the count. Measured that at 421. He supplied every inch of the power. Just did get a piece of that curve.
A couple of chances to put at least 4 or 5 runs on the board, but the game tied at 1.
Yes, he did. 12 strikeouts, but 7th inning stretch and a 1-1 tie. Less than 100% just is not good enough. That's why Camarena only offers award-winning 100% blue agave tequila. Camarena Tequila, the official tequila of our White Sox.
Got a new pitcher in the ball game, and it is former White Sox hurler Lucas Harrell on for the 30th time. 6-14 this year. ERA 5.55. He made 21 starts before they moved him into the bullpen. This is his 9th appearance out of the pen. So the walk to strikeout ratio problematic. 76 strikeouts, 74 walks. And Cosart will get a no decision for his 6 innings of work. The youngster threw the ball very well, gave up a run on 7 hits. The 5 walks he can't be happy with, but pitching out of a couple of very tough jams he should be ecstatic about.
Top of the order for us. Yuri takes first pitch strike. One pitch, and it's 2-1. Two and two. And the final now from Fenway. Red Sox have defeated Baltimore 4-3. Red Sox now 80-55. Not a whole bunch of people expected them to be 80-55 here on August 28th.
No, most of the folks thought that if not a rebuilding year, this would not be one of their better ones.
And there's the leadoff walk. Great speed aboard. Well, John Farrell and Juan Nieves have turned that pitching staff around over there. And here's Beckham.
A couple nice acquisitions also.
There he goes. Safe. Ball goes into center field. There's that speed, that energy. Yes.
Well, that wasn't Clark's fault because he threw that ball right over the bag and nobody was covering. Very much of a mental mistake on the part of the middle infield of the Astros, and that one could come back to haunt him. Second stolen base. Now watch Clark. He gets rid of it, and nobody's there. Elmore's late to the bag. Goes into center field. It'll be E2.
I have it. Now they'll bring the infield in. Beckham. Gordon's 1 for 3. He's faced Lucas 7 times, has 3 hits. And he takes. Two and one to count. Softly hit. Ate him up, got it in on him. So big out, 1 out.
Good pitch by Harrell. And nothing Gordon can do about it.
Keppinger, 2 for 2. Saw a single. Ducks north to right, ducks north to left, and a walk. Takes it on the inside corner. Well, I tell you what, he's doing what I think pitchers in situations like this exactly should do. He's just busting them inside, busting them inside, busting them inside. 0-2 the count.
Well, Villar is playing him as a dead pull hitter, which should let you know that for the most part he'll stay in.
A little show me pitch right there. Well, that's going to get the job. Maybe. Short. Here he comes. That speed. Here's the throw. Safe. Sox lead it 2-1. The speed of Leury Garcia.
RBI number 36. Barnes gets off the best throw he possibly can, going to his left. A one hopper, the hand on the plate. And he flashes by Clark, who could never get the tag down. So a good call by Field and Culbreth. Good slide by Leury Garcia. And the go-ahead run.
The leadoff walk. The stolen base. Hello, Speed.
Puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Well, that was a real short fly ball out there with a guy who's got a good arm, and he still beats it home. There's about a 54-footer. Adam has struck out, grounded to first, and hit into a 4-6 fielder's choice. 2-7-0 for us, 1-3 and 1 for them.
Well, with 2 home runs career-wise, you know he's got the 3-0 green light, and let's see if Harold gets it close. He doesn't.
That'll bring up Paulie for the second walk of the inning.
Roqueo coming out to have a word with him.
So Roqueo has a say. Paulie, 2 for 3. He is now 6 for 11 in this series. He drove in a run in the first inning with that base hit. And who scored it? Leury Garcia.
You walk him at your peril. With his speed, he is a difference maker.
Watch out. That's a speed like that's a game changer.
Robin gave him the start at shortstop. And he's made the most of it.
Well, we scored 2 runs. He scored both of them.
And Ramirez, who had played in every game to this point, has got the night off to this point.
And that pitch on the inside. off day tomorrow, then make your plans to be with us on Friday right here on Comcast Sportsnet, first of a 3-game set from Fenway Park. We have 3 there, 3 at Yankee Stadium, and 4 in Baltimore. Out and around that one, hooks it foul. On Friday, Hector Santiago against Ryan Dempster. On Saturday, Johnny Danks against the Jake Meister, Jake Peavy. And on Sunday, Andre Rienzo against Felix Dubron. Now the Friday and Sunday games right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Saturday will be over WGN. And that's outside. So a full count. And that's foul.
Arsterio Garcia's. Liuri with 2 runs scored, and Abasail with 2 base hits.
And there's ball 4. So the 3rd walk of the inning. And here comes Garcia. Abasail. That's single in the 4th, single in the 6th. Well, we touched on it the other day. When you get 2 guys who can run like our 2 Garcias can, that can change the whole philosophy of an organization. The whole philosophy.
Harold keeps trying to bury the ball inside, and for the most part misses in there.
You got Alexei with 26 stolen bases. You've got Diaz with 16 stolen bases. Turn these 2 guys loose and see what you come up with at the end of the year. Everybody thinks in this ballpark, in our ballpark, that you got to go out and get home run hitters. That is so far from the truth, it's not even funny. Anybody can hit home runs in this ballpark. You need speed in this ballpark, and you need defense, guys that catch the ball to protect that pitching staff that we got. The most precious thing on our ball club is a pitching staff. You got to do everything you can to protect that. And the first thing you do is get people to catch the baseball. Something we did last year, almost won a divisional title. Something we did not do this year, and we went from best to worst. One and 2 the count.
Don Cooper, Herm Schneider.
Two on, 2 out, 1 in, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Three walks in an inning leads to a whole lot of pitches.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Back at the wall, he jumps. You can put it on the board. Yes. A 3-run bomb by Abasail Garcia, and it's a 5-1 ball game.
His 3rd home run of the year. He's driven in 19. And what was a 1-1 tie has turned into a 4-run lead. Our 4th home run replay as Lucas Harrell continues to throw every fastball this inning inside to the right-hand hitter. Garcia was looking for it, got it, and took it out.
And here's Jordan. Two and 0 the count. We have come up with 4 runs on 1 hit. Out and around that off the end of the bat. But a nice crooked number goes up on that board. We'll go to the 8th leading 5-1. Two runs scored. Evasayel, 3 hits, a 3-run homer. And we lead it 5-1. And here is Jake Elmore. Elmore, 1 for 2 with an infield single. Five, 8-0 for us, 1-3-1 for them. Young players with talent and speed that equates to energy.
Trades are looking pretty good tonight.
They look good when they were made. We both know that.
Yep. Fourth start with 12+ strikeouts in 2013. It is a single season record with a few to go yet.
Both you and I were ecstatic to find out we got those two guys.
Added speed to the ball club.
In the right field. Jordan is there. We got some guys out there. 1 out.
We have seen against us in a few different series what the ability to close the gaps in the outfield can do. We turn around a ball game. We saw Lorenzo Cain turn around a series defensively in center field. So with the addition of Garcia and Danks now playing more, we have closed the gaps in the outfield. The last play was a perfect example of it.
And that ball just rips it by Keppinger. So Jonathan VR now 1 for 3. And here is Cody Clark, 0 for 1 with a walk. Breaking ball, no. This is nice to see. Last night, 3 runs in the 8th inning. Tonight, 4 runs in the 7th inning. Jordan, 2 down. Sox trying to pick up their 10th win in the last 12 ball games.
Chris Sale's 10th win of the year.
Well, his numbers, as are Quintana's, are just ridiculous. As well as they have pitched. I mean, it's just it's vulgar. It really is. It just goes to show you, as well as they pitched, him to have 10
and 7.
And 7. That's something. That'll do it. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, leading by 4.
And here's our Miller moments. It starts off with Leury Garcia stealing second base. The pop-up slide as the ball goes into center field. He winds up at third. Then, on a sacrifice fly, he beats the throw with a very good tag at the plate. A little bit later, after a couple more walks, a 3-run homer by Avisaíl Garcia, his 3rd of the year. And a 4-run inning has given Chris Sale a leg up on win number 10.
And Avisaíl's first in a White Sox uniform. First of many. Tank with a 1-1 count. Tank 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. And that ball hit into right field. Hose can't get there. So that's going to be a ground rule double.
This ball hard hit and slicing away from Hose. He's going to be a very happy man when this series is over. It's not been a particularly good one for him.
And here's Josh. Takes first pitch strike. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
Looks like Robin is going to allow Chris Sale to go for complete game number 5.
So 1 out. Tank moving into third. And here's Leary. 0 for 2 with 2 walks, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base. Now the infield in. Watch out. Of course, with that home run by Garcia, the Alex Nellius family, another generous donation to White Sox charities in loving memory of Ursula. And that ball into left field. Here's the throw to the plate, and it's not going to be in time. And it's a 6-1 Sox lead.
RBI number 2. So Garcia got the job done. Waited for a pitch he could hit in the air. And that's his first sacrifice fly of the year.
Gordon, 1 for 4. Two and 0 the count. There's a strike. Cincinnati going to win that ball game, leading 9-0, top of the 8th inning. Pittsburgh won, so the Pirates going to be just a half game back of the Cardinals. And there's a base hit right inside the line. So Gordon picks up his 17th two-bagger.
That ball right down the middle, inside out swing. Carter well off the line. And double digit in hits, 10 of them tonight.
One hopper. And that'll do it. But we pick up another one. We'll go to the 9th, leading by 5.
Live, presented by Orland Park Nissan. Get their take on tonight's game and all the action around the league. Don't miss White Sox Postgame Live tonight, right after the game on Comcast Sportsnet.
6-10-0 for our guys, 1-4-1 for their guys. LJ Hose, Jose Altuve, and Matt Dominguez. LJ is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts tonight. Breaking ball strike. Oh, and 2 the count. Seems to be everybody's okay.
Well, if Chris does go the distance, it'll be his 5th complete game. Tampa Bay as a team has 7 complete games. Oakland as a team has 6 complete games. And those are going to be the only 2 teams in the American League with more complete games than Chris Sale, if he indeed goes the distance here tonight.
Jordan can't get there. Full count. And that's chopped foul. Sox with 1 in the first. They tied it 1 in the 7th. We came right back in the bottom of the 7th with a 4 spot. Added 1 last inning. And there is the leadoff walk.
Matt Lindstrom, who leads the league in appearances, going to start to work.
And here comes Robin. He wants Lindstrom. So a terrific job once again by Chris Sale.
2-3 on for the 65th time. ERA 3.10. It's been steadily going down. He inherits Hose at first base. And nobody out here in the ninth with a very comfortable, for the moment, lead.
So here's Altuve. He is 0 for 3. A strikeout, and a deep drive to center, and a hard line drive to left. All right, take your time, boys. Back him up quickly. 2 gone. That didn't take long.
1 pitch, 2 outs, and Chris Sale doesn't have to worry about that earned run left on the bags. Well, there's a pretty happy man. 1 out away from win number 10, running his record to 10-12.
There's a shot right back through the middle. So Dominguez now 1 for 4. That's just smart hitting there. He's got about a 7-1 favorite after getting that double play to throw a first ball fastball to get it over.
Look for it, hit it.
It's amazing how many, over the course of a season, how many hits can be obtained like that. So here's Carter. He's 2 for 3. He's 5 for 10 with 3 home runs in this series. So Chris has had a good series, former Sox farmhand. There's a good slider.
He was really the only guy to figure out Chris Sale tonight. Chris just had overwhelming stuff. 12 strikeouts, a couple of walks, only 4 hits. 2 of them awfully hard hit by Carter.
One and one to count. And the count 1-2. Lays off that one. And that fastball at 96 fouled away right side. And this ball game is over. So the Sox make it a 4-2 homestand. 2 out of 3 in each of the series. And I'll tell you, boy, I'll tell you, that 7th inning was nice to see.
Well, it certainly was, and Cosart left the ball game. He did a terrific job, but Lucas Harrell came in. He's been struggling with his control all year, and that's exactly what happened. Lucas Harrell walked Garcia, stolen base, the error. That set the stage for a sacrifice fly. It wasn't hit deep enough, and a great slide by Leury at the plate. He slid around Clark, tagged the plate, and then a couple of walks with an Abisail Garcia towering home run to center field, and that was enough for Chris Sale. Sox tagged on another one, and that was it.
And let's check out our GMC player of the game. It is Abisail Garcia. His first home run, a 3-run shot over the center field fence, just to put the icing on the cake right here. And a great performance by Chris Sale. That is our GMC player of the game. All right, so for my partner, Steve Stone, our director, Jim Angiu, our producer, Mike Leary, our associate producer, Dave Ross, our technical manager, Mark Harper, the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr., also for the Mayor Mean Joe Group, and Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Paul Carey. And down in sound, who do we have in sound today? We have Frank Leone. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, our Orland Park Nissan postgame show with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.